Oh, it's Roma. Quick shout out to the Papa Good Gaming channel. Putting all my gaming stuff on there. Army. How you been, Roma? Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that.
Congrats on trying for a baby. I'm so proud of you.
How have you been, Roma? Been amazing. That's good. I'm happy you're doing well. You want me to do you want me to watch it right now? While you're in the stream, is that why you're asking me? Roma's in the stream. She asked me to watch this. Roma Army. I would consider her like a friend of mine. We've known each other for a while. All right. She's a little bit of a manosphere. You don't have to donate again. You don't need to donate any more money. Please don't. Oh my God. You don't have to give me more money. Jesus Christ. Roma, stop. You don't have to give me money. You could have just asked for me to watch it for free. Thank you so much. If you want the money back, just let me know, because that's fucking crazy. All right. All right. If I donated fucking $270, what is that, $280 in one stream, I think you own the stream now, girl. All right. Let's watch this. You guys know I'm not a particular fan of Drew Afualo. You know, I'm all for... Listen, bro, I don't know. Listen, there are some times that she calls out some guys that are being kind of toxic, but sometimes she just goes crazy. I always reference this one time where this one TikTok always sticks out, where it was just this young guy or two young guys, and they made a joke. They're like, I'm going to sign up my girlfriend for the draft because they love to fight. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a funny joke. And then she went on like a 3-minute rampage, like body shaming them. And it's like, she just does, I just don't like her. Like she's not positive for anything. She just likes to be hateful. Whatever. I mean, I guess I don't really care at the end of the day, but you know, whatever. Let's get this going.
Whenever fuckwit dudes want to come to me and be like, this is why I think that Drew is actually extremely harmful. You know what I mean? Because calling me a fat buffalo bitch doesn't work. They try to like convince people that I'm just a bad person. And
I don't think that Drew's a bad person. I just think that you know what the thing that bothers me the most is that you can't knock back at Drew on TikTok the way that she knocks at people in the first place. Like the reality is that she uses like the concept of being like a feminist in some capacity to be hateful to some people. Sometimes she calls out people that deserve it, but sometimes she doesn't. And then you can't talk shit back because TikTok will ban you, but they let her, you know, talk her shit. It's just stupid. It's annoying.
rich.
So last time I made this video calling you out, Drew, you blatantly ignored it, and all your little group.
Is there another video? Oh, see, I gotta dive into the lore, Roma.
Groupie fangirls came to my video and made no valid argument for you because there is no excusable argument to condone your behavior. So I have receipts to prove that you're a terrible person, and I don't need to call you a big buffalo bitch to do so, but I am curious, is it only you?
I'm gonna say though, Drew's not that bad looking. Everybody gives her shit for it. She's mean. She's bad looking on the inside, but she's not that bad looking. I mean, I'm just gonna be real, okay?
You that's allowed to throw insults at people when you don't like what they have to say?
Who doesn't like a nice, you know, big, thick buffalo bitch, you know what I'm saying?
Or receipt time. Is this you? I am sorry.
This is, hold on. Gotta zoom in on this. I don't know why girls get upset when guys call us bitches like, duh, you're a F slur, and I run this, so of course I'm a bitch. How old are these? That's my question. How old are these, Are you gonna read them?
Sorry for the blurriest receipts known to man. I have a feeling that her PR team did everything.
Oh, these are from 2012. I don't know, dude. Listen, all I'm going to say is I was throwing off pro gamer words in 2012, too. I'm not proud of it, you know what I mean? Plus, I think Drew thinks that because she's a girl, that means that she can, you know, engage in gay culture in a very toxic way. Which is obviously not true. If you're gay, you want to throw off that, be my guest.
That they could to get this removed from the internet because this.
Oh my God, guys, I get it. You were all F slurs in something school. Oh, middle school. And some of you still are in high school. Let's move on now. I told you, Ricky, those F slurs not representing the Drews of the world. Oh my God. Wait, she was at like a 1,000 followers when she was already talking about the Drews of the world. I remember that.
This is the only copy I could find. They probably did this because she was having people like this on her YouTube channel. Trixie Mattel, a world-renowned drag queen, tweet.
I like Trixie Mattel. Oh, are you dragging Trixie?
From when she was in high school, says, I don't know why girls get upset when guys call us bitches. Like, duh, you're a F word. A slur for gay people.
True.
And I run this, so of course I'm a bitch to you, LMAO. Next tweet. Oh my God, guys, I get it. You are all the same slur in middle school, and some of you still are in high school. Let's move on now. Next tweet. I told you, Ricky, these slurs again, not representing the Drews of the world well at all. Ha 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 ha. How come you only ever address the tweets in your Instagram story? I'm sure you guys might be thinking to yourself, Roma, come on.
Did she address the tweets in her Instagram story? What did she say? My wife's got me on Trixie and Katia or is it Tatia? Those two drag queens. She's got me onto those two. They're very funny. We watch some of their compilations and stuff. I forget the other one though.
That was back when she was in high school. I mean, who hasn't said inflammatory shit in high school, right?
True.
That
Very
same
true.
energy with your
Although I wasn't in high school at that point. I was in...
queen. In a video that she'd made calling a group of high school boys out on their homophobia, meanwhile letting her own homophobia.
True,
She
actually.
made these comments underneath. In her talk
Wait, I know which one you're talking about. Wait, hold on. Is that the video where a bunch of boys, it was Katia? Okay. There was a bunch of like 15-year-old boys at like a Piggly Wiggly or something, or some kind of barbecue restaurant or something, and they were just being like a little bit like flamboyant, making doing like a gay trend, like a trend that was actually like a trend that like gay people were doing, and they were just being kind of goofy, and it wasn't really rude at all. It was just like 15-year-old boys being silly. Is that the one you're referring to? Because that shit was fucking crazy. That's the one. It was such a nothing. It was such like a stupid like virtue signal. Bro, this is the one thing is that like I don't understand how you could be somebody who I don't understand how you could be a person who is so like intense when it comes to like slurs and shit when you used to say them. Like for me, when I see somebody being edgy, especially a young person, I'm like, bro, come on. You're going to regret it when you get older. You know what I mean? That's how I feel now. But let's see what this says. For those of you who don't understand, you're going to read them probably, right?
comment, she's explaining why the video I'm about to show you is homophobic. But it's the second comment that I really want you guys to focus on. For those saying they're too young, 1, eat shit. 2, old enough to be homophobic on the internet, old enough to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, that's her engaging in like cognitive dissonance. The top one says, for those who don't understand, at Print Fairy has a series of these boys copied and they pretended to be gay to be funny. Also used a gay. I don't know what that other part. Did they use a gay slur, bro? I mean, listen, who doesn't pretend to be gay sometimes just for a joke? It's just a joke. I'm not actually. I just sometimes it's just like sometimes you just drink a little bit as a joke and then you kiss your best friend as a joke, dude. It's like being gay for a joke is always funny.
All these bitches have in common. No calves, huh? Exactly. And you will all be bald by 23. Sorry, brothers. Sorry.
I was bald by 23. I was bald by 23. Look at my hair now, dude. I've been wearing the hat too much. And I haven't been shaving. I gotta shave my hat. God, I look like a fucking 35-year-old. But don't worry, I could just wear the hat. That's how you subsidize that. It's like wearing makeup for men. Okay.
Sorry to be the one to break it to you. It's funny because y'all are trying to make fun of gay people, and this is the most yassified picture I've ever fucking seen in my life, bitch.
Yeah, I think they're having fun. Like, I don't know, dude. Were they trying to make fun of gay people, or were they just trying to do like a trend, like a gay trend, because they thought it was funny? Like a lot of, bro, I don't know if girls do this. I feel like this is a guy thing. Dudes just like to pretend to be kind of gay as like a little bit of a joke, and like maybe we could have a really like deep, conversation about how that could be homophobic. But I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just like a joke. If they're going around like telling gay people to die and calling them the F slur and everything, that would be very problematic. But then pretend to be kind of gay, I don't think it's at the expense of gay people in this like way where they're pieces of shit.
Also, I love the arch in the brow. You get them threaded, don't you? My guess, 5'5". You should go see the previous dude's eyebrow guy. This dude's the tallest, which is a bummer because he's only 5'6". Their eyes are mad close together. Permanently cross-eyed, huh?
So if those boys are
You know what? She didn't make fun of the black guy though, by the way. She's afraid to be seen as a racist. I remember that part.
old enough to suffer the consequences, well, Drew, you're old as fuck compared to them, so now
True.
in case you're confused on where her homophobia seeps in, it's really interesting when homophobic and misogynistic people insult straight men on a feminine basis, right? First there was the calves comment and then the eyebrows. Almost as if she's roasting them for being feminine, which is homophobic and misogynistic. It makes me wonder how she feels about gay men. A gentleman on
Yeah, I mean, toxic masculinity and all that. It's true.
Twitter tried to call her out on her homophobia as soon as 2022, and she says, "That's not what homophobia is, pal. I fear you may be too fucking dumb to understand. LMAO, have fun being a big loser all by yourself, though. What makes you..."
Well, what does the bottom one say? No, hey, Drew, but when you have to be careful of what you say because men have been stereotyped as strong individuals doesn't mean that they're strong. Everyone has feelings. Every individual, regardless of gender, has feelings. You as an adult should acknowledge this and know when it's enough. So I don't know if that is where I would go with it. Where I would go with it is like, first of all, these kids are being very harmless and your response is disproportionate. Saying like, hey guys, I think that this is a homophobic joke and talking about how like you shouldn't do it. Again, I don't think it's that deep, but okay, that's a proportionate response. But just like going on there and like flaming them for it. Okay, I shouldn't have said flaming, sorry. Going on there and just going on there and just embarrassing them for it, making fun of like the fact that they're short and bald and blah blah blah, even though they don't deserve that response. It just signals to like short kid or short men, bald men, this, that, and the other thing, that like they're like less than, and Drew doesn't think that much of them. It's like, okay. I mean, bro, it's just like if bro, it's just like it's just okay. Let's say there were like girls pretending to be like, I don't know, gay women. Would it be appropriate to shit on them and call them ugly? Like, I just feel like no, it's just not a proportionate response. She's just not a positive force in the world. This isn't an instance of her doing any type of activism. And you know what the biggest thing that I would say, and this is something that I'm finding a lot, and this is a problem I have with a lot of people's content, and is that I notice a lot of people, they focus more on tearing down the opposing group in their activism rather than building up their own group. I'm not saying that you shouldn't call out bad people. There's times, like I remember there was one video that Drew did where this guy was just making fun of some young girl doing her makeup. She was just doing her makeup. She was having fun. The guy's like, oh, see, this is why we hate women, because they're wearing makeup. It's like, bro, you don't have to be a dick. And then she called him out. That's perfectly fine. But like, you don't have to constantly shit on. Why you don't have to shit on the opposing group? Like, why don't you focus more on building up your group? It doesn't really make any sense. It's annoying.
Too fucking dumb to understand. LMAO, have fun being a big loser all by yourself, though.
Loser.
What makes you think that you have the right to defend homophobia, first of all?
Hey, I defend homophobia all the time. I'm just kidding.
Fuckwit dudes want to come to me and be like,
Yeah.
this is why I think that Drew is actually extremely harmful. You know what I mean? Because calling me a fat buffalo bitch doesn't work.
Fat
They try to like
buffalo
convince
bitch.
people that I'm just a bad person.
It's just you that's allowed
I don't think she's bad for her. It's just boring, honestly. I feel like Drew's just very boring, you know?
to attack people's personal appearance when they do and say things you don't like. Also, what is with every woman who goes to the gym? What makes them think that they're just suddenly like valid to start commenting on men's bodies? Yes, Helga, we know you work out. I'd also like to note that right in the very middle of making this video, Drew's fans had my account banned because I started calling her out this morning.
Oh, was it TikTok? Was it on TikTok that you got banned?
So, no, Drew, I don't have to call you names. You speak for yourself. You're
That's the biggest problem. See, this is one of the things. This is an argument for Drew Afualo. When you have an atmosphere that allows you to do something and makes it so you're not allowed to receive criticism, which is exactly what TikTok does, then you're going to some people like Drew are going to develop like a big head, and they're going to think that everything that they're doing is acceptable. TikTok is abysmal dog shit. They don't care about bullying as long as it's seen as like virtuous bullying. They don't give a shit, you know? Either let everybody talk their shit or don't let anybody talk their shit. You know what I mean? Pick one. But like, she's going around shitting on people. It's just fucking dumb and boring. And part of it's TikTok's fault, you know? And it's because they care more about how many reports there are in a video and how much money they make rather than like being consistent.
past actions and your following. They just speak for themselves. You are a terrible person, but you can keep chalking it up to miserable men if you'd like.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's pretty true. You asked her to debate me, and she said that she doesn't debate anyone who disagrees with her. Yeah, like, so here's my thing. Drew, one of the things about Drew is that, like, she is a phenomenal businesswoman. Drew is an excellent businesswoman. I will tell you that. She knows she's created, like, almost the perfect sphere for herself where she can be an antagonistic dickhead as much as she wants. And then she can use the excuse of, like, I have no time for you. And then she just does podcasts with people. She doesn't need to respond to criticism, basically. Nobody values her for her, like, in-depth, intelligent talks. People value her because she's a silly, mean person. That's pretty much it. So she's probably never going to do any type of, like, conversation or debate. But I don't think that she has to. You know? Like, I just feel like she's so fucking boring. Like, I just feel like she's just so she's so annoying. I will say one thing, though, as I bullied my wife out of watching her videos. My wife used to watch some of them because she thought some of them were funny. And then I started talking about how Drew's poop, and then she stopped watching them just because I was annoying her. So, hey, bullying works, am I right? Okay. Hate Andrew Tate, but support Cardison Bentley. Let's see what we got.
Okay, so because feminists hate being hit with logic, I'm sure that most women are just gonna like blindly walk past this one. But I want to know what the difference between Andrew Tate and Cardi B is. Here's the thing.
What has Cardi B done? Like versus Andrew Tate?
Somebody anybody who did not grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth, I've definitely been in the position where I've had to do what I gotta do. It did not involve drugging and robbing men, as Cardi B has admitted to.
Right, yeah, she did. Oh my god.
But definitely things I'm not proud of and wouldn't do today. When it comes to Cardi B drugging and robbing men, I've always kind of been a little bit indifferent because I always thought, well, maybe she was doing what she had to do. And one day I thought...
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know what her life was. She might have grown up in, like, a fucking rough area. I don't know. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to run defense for her, but, like, I don't know her shit and her situation, so, you know what I mean?
Myself, well, what's the difference between her doing that to do what she's got to do and Andrew Tate pimping and exploiting women to do what he's got to do to not be broke?
Well, I'll say one thing. Those are two very different things, right? What Cardi B... So now we're comparing demons at this point, right? But what Cardi B did was really shitty. It's like an individual level thing, whereas Andrew Tate has an infrastructure for it's basically exploiting very lonely men. Especially since he's an advocate against pornography. He's an advocate against pornography. I'd say that there's a bit of cognitive dissonance there more than anything else. There's so much into this, like, lore. I think the first problem people have with it is when he was pushing Hustlers University, the first version of it, he had something in his bio. He had something in his bio that suggested that he, like, borderline... I mean, not to use super loaded words. Okay. It's at this point. It's in this video from the Mimi. She's a pretty solid content creator. But there was something, okay, so, like, this was the first red flag to me, okay, is that my job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, go get her to fall in love with me, to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam where so we could become rich together, whether you agree or disagree with what I did. Their loyalty, submission, and love for me doesn't matter. You cannot reject the results. And the results are simple. My girlfriend would do more for me than 99% of men out there, or men's wives. That's a little suspicious. It seems a little, I don't know. By itself, it's not horrible, but that's like, that's a red flag for me, because it sounds like he's putting women into situations where they may not feel like they have another option, but that's a bit of a stretch for it, but it's a little bit of a red flag. But at the end of the day, webcam services, whatever, I don't really care. If you're a lonely guy and you're falling, you know, to it, I don't know what to tell you. He's talked about it in depth. I know that, like, when he told a whole story. I watched so much Andrew Tate just to like research this guy. He talked about a story that he did where when he first started his webcam business, he had 5 of his girlfriends come together, I think in Romania, and he told them he wanted to start up a webcam business, and 3 of them left, which shows to me that there was, like, consent there. I think that this is him, like, using like language to make him seem cool. But then again, maybe he really does that. But it seems like he's trying to be, like, put this persona on that he's, like, a super cool guy. But technically it's legal. Technically it's legal. So I guess that's your argument for Andrew Tate. He's a millionaire now, though, so he doesn't necessarily need the money. I would say my biggest issue with it, though, is the fact that he talks about how porn is really bad for young men, which I tend to agree with, and then he sells porn to men, and I just feel like that's like a lot. That's just a pretty big level of cognitive dissonance there, you know.
Both said terrible, toxic things. Some of it for clout, some not. Both done very questionable things to other human beings, to put it lightly. Putting that on the table, gentlemen, is it only women who need to up their moral standards? Because if you think that only toxic women support Cardi B, then maybe you need to question if only toxic men support Tate. If you don't hate Andrew Tate for doing what he's got to do to not be broke, then should you stop hating on Cardi B for doing what she's got to do? Because at the end of the day...
Well, I would say again, like, Cardi B's also not currently doing that thing. I don't think. She's no longer broke. She no longer engages in, like, the robbing of men and drugging them, which again is very wrong. Whereas Andrew Tate has millions of dollars and he still runs the webcam. Well, excuse me. He passed the webcam business off to his brother, but he still makes a profit from it. So even though he doesn't need to, and I believe he was rich before that, or maybe that was what he built his wealth on. I think he got a decent amount of money from fighting, and then he used that to invest in shit in Romania.
Equality means what? Blame each? No. Except.
Also, I will say, well, I don't know how prolific of a figure is Cardi B when it comes to her as a role model. Because there are definitely women who look up to Cardi B as a role model, or younger girls. And there's definitely young men who look up to Andrew Tate. I am not educated on what Cardi B talks about in her messaging. I'm very educated on what Andrew Tate does, and I disagree with a lot of it. We could talk about that, Roma. That'd be cool. You seem like you might like Andrew Tate. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Accepting equal responsibility. So you both need to pick a side.
When did they close down their webcam business? People keep. I don't know if that's true.
Figure it out. And just for the record, I'm not a big fan of either of them.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Cardi B for her toxic shit, and Andrew Tate for saying that gypsies have ruined Romania.
Is that what Andrew Tate said?
So, Cardi B for her toxic shit, and Andrew Tate for saying that gypsies have ruined Romania.
Oh my God.
Thanks, bud.
I want Papa God to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.